All right. So the last few questions and has to pertain with the COVID-19 and how the whole residency process, the residency selection process will look like for this year. So it seems to me that a lot of programs are going to be doing interviews just like Zoom or or whatever
Yes.
interface. Is
Yeah.
that is it fair to say that that's going to be the general rule for this year?
Uh, Pretty much. In fact, we are now working on our recruitment video to get ready for the interview season because, I mean, obviously with the pandemic going on, travel is restricted. Many medical schools have sort of discouraged their students from traveling to various areas. Our affiliated university has advised us against in-person sort of interviews. So our institution has made a joint decision that it will be sort of all online interviews. So this is new. This is this is uncharted territory for all of us. So it's going to be a learning process, but we are getting a lot of guidance from our professional societies. Our sort of American Society of Anesthesiology has given us some assistance, and certain institutions which have sort of more experience with online interviewing and online recruiting have sort of shared their knowledge with the sort of the wider community. So I know that Mayo Clinic and I can't off the
Mhm.
top of my head remember one other institution has sort of already done a lot of the legwork and created a really good interface for their applicants to sort of look at, and also created a good system of um, basically given you a framework for how to structure your online interviews.
Yes.
So many of us are sharing that in the education community. And you should ask me this question at the end of the interview season.
Absolutely.
I'll let you know how it went.
Absolutely. And what about the resident tours, the in-person visits? That is also part of the interview day. How are programs going to make up for that?
I think we recognize that, that is a huge part of how prospective applicants get to know your program.
Hmm.
And our tours used to be a really important part of that. So we're going to try and use our online promotional videos to give applicants a good idea of what they'll see in our program. And again, we have to be, we're in the process of creating these videos. And again, it's new for all of us. So you're trying to get the correct amount of information without making the videos too lengthy, because it's a fair amount of work for these applicants to look at all these videos from various competing programs. So that'll be a challenge for us to present all the information that applicants need uh, in a sort of more concise and attractive fashion.
Hmm. Hmm. And how would an applicant then, meet the residents? I mean, or interact with them? I mean, are they going? You think they're going to be more like resident and the applicant interviews?
So we are, again, this was something that we talked about in our sort of lead up to the interview season. And what we are possibly considering doing is to give each individual applicant on their interview day some FaceTime with some of the residents. And again, trying to keep it such that um, we got this feedback from some of our local medical students that they felt that, in the past when residents were being interviewed, they'd sit um, in a sort of conference room. The
Yes.
applicants and the residents will all be having lunch, and
Yes.
everyone will be chatting. And it was a great way for the applicants to get to know the program.
Right.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work as well in a Zoom or an online setting. I'm sure you've been in meetings where there are more than 10 participants, and no one asks any questions or people are hesitant to speak up. So we're trying to make it such that each sort of applicant gets um, one or two residents to connect with and has an opportunity to have all their questions answered. We
Mm-hmm.
really want to try and emulate their interview day experience as much as we can in this newer setting.
Right, right. Now, if if there is an applicant who's very, very interested and said, I have to, I would really like to visit the program, with everything like, masking, social distancing and all, would that still be an option, you think, after the interview process, I guess?
So I think I don't think I can answer
Okay,
that simply because I don't know the answer to it.
absolutely.
I'm almost certain that our institution and our graduate medical education office will give us some guidance on that.
Yes,
I'm pretty certain they're going to discourage us from having visitors visit the hospital.
absolutely.
With everything that's going on, I mean, at this point, we're not allowing family members to visit their
Absolutely.
sick relatives in the hospital. So, having prospective residents come in and visit, we're trying to protect both them and the hospital community. So I think the answer to that will be no, unless something changes.
Any final message you want to share with the applicants, going through all these uncertain times into this
This
residency
is,
program?
stay positive, um, put your best foot forward, speak to, talk to your friends, seniors, don't try and reinvent the wheel. There's plenty of resources out there. Um, Reach out to sort of your alumni from your institution who are in other training programs. They'll be more than happy to help you, hopefully. But again, stay positive, and if things don't work out exactly the way you wanted first time around, don't be disappointed. Getting into a good training program sometimes especially depending on your specialty, can be a little challenging. So just be prepared to put in the work, and if your first effort doesn't sort of give you the results you want, don't give up, and improve your application and try again, and stay safe during the COVID season, and wishing all of you all the best.